most.
Okay? What happened if you lose your keys and you can't get under the seat?
Oh, we know this.
There's the thing inside the glove box.
Yeah. But if that cable breaks, how do you get it?
There's a thing in the back. You
Oh,
just shove your
you
screwdriver in. Yeah, I've had that problem.
Yeah, I read the mystery and the don't ever tell anybody.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, the thieves are really gonna be
That's
trouble.
what it is.
So where is it?
You can see it if you really look close. Use the light, was
This
the
was one of the hardest things to
flashlight.
find.
Was
I
it
had to
over
read
here?
through page after page after
Don't
page.
tell anybody.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
and this one
I got
was
it.
like, thanks for finally breaking the code, because they were like, most thieves.
Now, that's when my bike caught on fire, the cables all
Very,
melted, so they had to go through
between
the back.
this here and there is a very little indentation. There you got to push on. That's the clip.
Okay.
It's a bitch to do.
Yeah,
I
well,
had
he
to
wasn't
do one
happy
the
with
other
it.
day.
Oh, did you? No
I
fun.
screwed with it for a half hour before I got it open.
Yeah, my mechanic doesn't normally swear. Oh, you probably know Jeff from Motorsport. And he was swearing at it because it wouldn't give, and then finally, yeah.
Need a long thin screw.
Right, that's exactly it. Anybody who's fiddling around it couldn't find the right spot.
Because you got the seat there, somebody got to push the seat.
Right.
Yeah, see, maybe I put my glove box on and didn't get the line.
I've locked my keys once one time, and that's the last time I'll ever do it.
One built-in storage.
You only have to do that once. I never ever put keys in the trunk or the glove compartment.
There's
top box.
An electric screwdriver.
Can you do that at LX also?
That's
Okay, I see.
terrible.
That's what you got to push.
Do they
So you have
have,
to push it in?
Telephone line.
Okay, gotcha.
Because what it does, it releases the lock.
Yeah.
Electrician too.
It releases the lock.
Just so you can get a little further away from that.
It's a bitch. I
Do
did
they have it on the LX
I read
too?
about it. And I said,
So you
then
just
I
have a
put
very,
a seat back on,
very
bagel
long, very
spike.
thin screwdriver?
Bagel spike.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
I screwed with it, I finally got it open.
So is it a very long, very thin screwdriver?
yeah, long, narrow, yeah.
I've got one at home also.
Did that work on a GTS with the seat covering the whole deal?
What?
Well, a regular GTS seat, doesn't it cover that bend?
No.
No?
You see about that much.
And I
You won't
have
be
a
able to
200
talk
seat on mine, so there's enough of a gap.
I'm gonna go break into one of y'all.
It's,
Try the GTV, I know somebody who's...
Just put a 200 seat on my
Vespa.
Oh, did
GTV
ya?
too, yeah.
I like it much better.
Ralph,
Yeah,
can
but
you
we're
do
not
with a,
Very comfortable.
So,
I found out later, I was like, Brian, sell me the bike. He's like, oh no, Bagel got it. I'm like, oh fuck.
Rolf, can you do that with the top case on too?
Has Brian's GTV.
Can you do that with the top case on as well?
I don't know if he has
oh
one.
man, it's a bitch.
Harder.
I
yeah,
don't
you
know.
might not be able to get straight in.
Just
I'm not
He's
much.
got a brush for
Hide
it.
a
I
wire
have-
somewhere.
I have a top
You know,
case for it,
bend,
but I
push
use it once or twice. I hate top cases, I hate anything on the back, so that's why.
Doors off the way.
No luggage
Yeah, you
carrier.
learn quickly how to pack correctly when you do top case.
Yeah.
Okay, next.
I'm gonna show him how to jack this thing up.
My commuter.
Yeah.
Get the valve cover
Yeah.
off.
Let's take a 5-minute break and then we do it. So we're running a little overtime, so what, everybody happy?
Yeah,
It's
we're
important.
okay.
It's important that you see how you have to jack it up to get the valve cover off.
It's,
And even if we're not going to take that valve cover off and set those valves,
At least it's good to see
at
it.
least yeah, 'cause it's
but at least you see what is involved in doing it.
Right, right.
But I get to adjust the valves because it's due for it, but I do it late tonight or tomorrow.
And you would do it here by strapping up?
There is one that is 30 amp. On this side is a brown relay.
Oh, okay, the relays.
It's 80 amp.
That way you can
The yellow one operates the fuel pump. The brown one operates the starter. Now, what is a relay actually doing, or why do they have a relay in it? Anybody know? A relay only does one thing. In the moment you turn the key, You activate the relay and you make contact between the electricity and no electricity to it. Well, I don't know if anybody ever had a relay apart, but you can pop them apart. And what it has in it, it's a contact and a coil. This coil gets electricity from the battery and closes the contact. The reason they put a relay in everything is so when you turn everything off, there's no electricity going to the starter or this or whatever. That's the reason people use relays. Now, one of the common things I've seen that is when it's especially hot outside, and when I went to Mexico, all of a sudden my scooter stops. And what the hell is this? So I stopped, and the first thing I did is turn the ignition off and turned it back on and listen to it.
The relay.
You can feel the relay, and you also can hear the noise from the fuel pump. So I turned it off. Now what? Took the relay out, took a pair of nail files, popped the relay apart, filed the contacts, put it back in, back to life. So, if you ever someplace and you get stuck, make sure when you turn your ignition on and off that you hear the relay click or you can feel it. Make sure your fuel pump runs. That's a quick way of knowing what is happening. Okay? So remember that. And you can pop these relays apart. The plastic comes, the whole inside slides out. Just file the contacts, put it back in.
Do you know why?
What really kills relays is bad batteries. Bad batteries don't have enough power to operate
Close it tightly.
tight enough. And then once the contacts burn, you
They
never
don't
have the
they don't
right
conduct.
condition.
Yeah.
And that is what
Oh.
causes a lot of problems. So you can buy these relays at any auto store. Just buy a 30 amp and throw it under the seat with your tools. And if you go someplace, at least
You got one.
all you have to do is unplug it and
So,
one
so the
at a
relays,
time.
there's no different form factor or anything for them, any,
They're all the same.
pardon? They're all the same?
Just different amperage.
Okay, so the brown one's 30.
No, I don't even know the colors.
Oh, okay.
So they can come in any color.
Ah, okay,
Just-
okay.
I just happen to know that the one for the
PI shell.
that the one for the fuel pump is 30 and for the starter is 80.
The color's nothing to do with it.
No, I understand, it's just that when he talked about how it functions, because I have the
They all
battery that went
function-
flat.
they all
No, but
function the same.
since I have the battery that went flat, I had a symptom that makes me think I may also have a relay problem. So I just thought I'd go grab one. And when I get the battery from you, I'd also get a new relay at the same time, because there's just a symptom that makes me think it's funky, and I don't think filing it will do it. So that was just a great clue when you talked about its behavior, so.
Because bad batteries or weak batteries really screw relays up, unfortunately.
Another reason they use relays is because if you used for the starter, you'd have to run these really heavy gauge wires up to the key. And there's just not a lot of room up there. And the same reason they do it in cars.
The way that is set up, that is all changed.
Yeah.
The wiring, they got, I think it's 14 gauge wiring or something.
Yeah.
So the wiring is efficient and that is weak batteries, especially on the early LXs, where they had a lot of battery problems. That's what we had a lot of relay problems.
So when these show right,
Gee, another thing too, one of the relays really sensitive is for people who have GT200s. They are super sensitive to relays too, the starter. So make sure that relay is good. And the battery.
For the starter.
One of the things, real quick, one more thing. GTSs, not so much GTs, but GTSs, GTVs, all the later stuff, GTS 300s, are very sensitive to electricity. What I'm talking about is, if there is a overcharge into a battery, like I seen overcharges as much as 14 point, anything over 14 volts into the battery, which will happen when the battery is low. And you measure it, the regulator, is it yours or mine?
I got the same ring on mine, I thought it was
I
me.
wondered why his phone went off and you walked away.
That's what my ring is.
Hey, I got a class, call me back half hour. Bye.
I got the same
Okay,
phone.
so,
It was just so funny because I was right down here and it was.
very sensitive to battery power. What it does is, it drives the computer goofy, and the scooter starts running goofy, and what ends up to be, it's an overcharge of the battery. It can be a bad battery, it can be a bad regulator, it can be a bad stator, it can be a bad, not really magnetized flywheel. So there's a lot of factors involved in it. There is a brown wire, if you want to come over here. You see this brown wire? If you disconnect this brown wire, it comes out of the motor to the stator. This brown connector, it originates out of the stator on the motor. So what you can do is, with a voltmeter, you can measure and see, and you can start the motor and everything and run without that being connected. All that does is charge the system.
Okay.
Okay? So what you can do is, you go from one pole, first of all, you gotta have a voltmeter. Then you got to turn the voltmeter on to DC current, AC current. And you go from pole, from the side, with the plus to the minus pole in the middle, and it will tell you how much the phase is charging. There's 3 phases in the stator. And the phase at idle, it should charge not more than around 15 volts each phase. At idle, at 4,000 or 3,000 RPM, it shouldn't charge more than 30. So if it charges more, then there is something wrong with the stator.
And that's going into the voltage, and that's coming from the stator, but then ultimately going into the voltage regulator.
Correct. But the voltage regulator only takes out so much. So unfortunately,
When the stators go bad, do they increase the voltage or decrease the voltage?
either way.
Okay.
Either way. And I had one place in San Francisco order 5 stators. They all came back and says the stators are no good. I says, come on. You know, what kind of bullshit is that? 5 stators and no old, no bad. I says, did you check the flywheel? He says, huh? I says, did you check the flywheel? Huh? Did you check the fucking flywheel and see if it was magnetized? No. I said, that's your problem. See, doesn't take a mechanic, takes this normal thinking. So anyway,
So how do you check for being magnetized?
just put a screwdriver on the flywheel, and it sticks to it, it's good.
And how do you demagnetize it? Never mind. Don't worry.
How do,
Do you demagnetize it?
you can't, I don't know. How does it demagnetize? Some way, I don't know what demagnetizes.
What do? You just replace it then if it's
Yeah.
magnetized? Okay.
Yeah, if it is demagnetized, or there is a place, there used to be places which could remagnetize it, but
Or,
people don't even know what that is anymore, because nobody, the
Does it.
two-stroke guys in 20 years ago, or 30 years ago, or 40 years ago used to use it, you know, but. I think First Kick Scooters in San Francisco is one place where you can get flywheels magnetized.
is it magnetized or demagnetized?
You want it magnetized.
Oh, I got it. Okay. No, I'm just talking about.
So, regulators are located in the forward part, right underneath the radiator and the bitch to get to. Ignition locks. If I'm not gonna rip the glove box out, but if you ever need to replace the ignition lock, once you take the glove box up, you get to it, and you can see it. And it has an electrical plug in the back. So what I want you to do is, when you do the way the switch is held in with a clip, but the switch itself has a slant angle on it in the front. So since it is so really hard to put the switch in and then put that safety clip back in, what you can do is put the safety clip in and the switch is made that you can push on it and it clicks in.
Just force it in.
So it makes it a lot easier in case you ever have to pull it out, you know. So remember that. If you ever get to the ignition lock, you gotta replace it, pull the clip, pull it out, put the clip back in, put the new one, you just push on it, bang, it's in. Otherwise, you sit there for a half hour to get that clip back in. What else? Air filters. What do you guys do with air filters? How much oil do you put on them? When you clean them, wash them, put air filters back in? Anything special?
I use the can-in oil.
Yeah, just that spray. Yeah, light coating
I clean it with
spray.
that.
If you live in an area like a normal city, wash it, put it back in, don't put anything on it.
Really?
Works best. Why? Because you get so much oil fumes from the engine through the breather going into the air filter that you don't even,
It's self-oiling.
Makes sense.
it's
That's all,
self-oil.
yeah.
So that is, the whole scooter runs better, it gets more air without restriction from the oil in the air filter. A lot of people believe in it, I do, but a lot of people say, no, you gotta have oil on it.
Yeah, I
Bullshit
was
stuff.
told you have to. Okay, just wash it, dry it, stick it back in. Okay.
You got it. And it
What are the
will,
bubbles
it will
on the bottom
run
of the air
and start
cleaner for?
better. Huh?
What are the bubbles on the bottom of the air cleaner for?
Catching the oil.
Yeah,
They're gonna
catch
collect
the
the
stuff.
spare oil.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Your
gonna
oil.
drip out anyway.
And if you
Okay.
Oils
get-
itself.
And if you get it from the
Then
factory,
you better oil your filter.
Don't worry about it.
any more, what
First
else
thing
can
to
I
fall off
tell
of
you?
mine.
I give you all these hints, which,
Those
you
are
know,
awesome. Keep
that's
them
what
coming.
you're here for.
Yeah.
Fuel tank and gauges, let's talk about it quick. Speedo, we all know speedos are by speed, they all show more than you really go. Warranty, Piaggio knows about it, what did they say? Well, they got a little safety built in, that way you won't get a speeding ticket.
Does that,
That's their excuse.
does that also
That is what they say.
does that also affect the odometer?
I guess it will.
Does not affect the odometer. No, the odometer is gear driven, the speedo
Speedo
has that other mechanism.
It's magnetic.
Yeah,
Well, no, it's the device inside the speedometer
right,
to make the needle move
yes.
it operates
Independent.
independent of the odometer. You know, they're hooked together to the same thing,
Got it.
but because one doesn't work doesn't mean the other one won't.
What else? Gas gauges, temp gauges. Temp gauges, again, they show, actually, I never seen one which works 100%. So that's something, the way you get it, that's the way it works.
If my fuel gauge doesn't go below 3/4, is that worth trying to fix, or is there nothing I can do about it?
The temp gauge,
Fuel gauge.
Fuel gauge
fuel gauge,
doesn't go
yes.
below 3/4.
Fuel gauge,
I just wait for my light to come on and then
they
I
had
drive around
about
for a day or two.
3 different wiring harnesses for GTSs. And mine still don't work, and I don't know which harness it is. I can plug in there, and I gave up on it. Because when my tank is half full, it's empty, it shows empty. So all the fuel gauges are up, down, and in between. But what we're talking about fuel gauges is they had some problems in the beginning with fuel pumps.
Right.
And the fuel pumps where we have one, Rich has one here. The problem was that at a given time, whoever made the fuel pump, this hose here on the bottom was here glued up. And the gasoline ate up the glue, and eventually it came loose, and guess what? No fuel pressure. Because the fuel pump was working, but the gas wasn't going where it was supposed to go, because the hose was there. So, they replaced a few, even so that they knew, and we know by VIN number, which scooters that affected, and some people got them from that day. But that was in the very beginning, so those days are over with. But that's what the problem is. So if you ever have one of the early ones, and you ever have to tank out, be good enough to buy a new pump so you know you don't have any problems. Because getting the fuel tanks out is a bitch. And we have a fuel tank here, and just so you know, there is one screw holding the fuel tank in place, and that screw is the one.
Well, no, there's one holding it in place that you'll never find.
You never find
Is that
unless
down?
you know about it, and that's why I talk about it.
This is a GTS fuel tank. That's where the pump goes, this thing. I'm missing 2 pieces. The collar that goes around this and the seal. Mostly because I got all this stuff separately. This is a fuel sender.
Fuel sending unit.
You can't, there's no part in here that you can fix.
There's a
You take it
fuel-
apart and you wonder how it could ever fail because it's just so dead simple inside. But it just goes in the hole.
It's never made right, that's why.
Yeah, it just goes in the hole and twists down. This
Yeah.
This are all accessible from the motor compartment. This is behind your tail light.
Oh, that's not.
Take your tail light off, there's that little bolt in there. That's this one.
That's true. And a lot of people, I want to get the tank out.
Can't get there.
It won't come out, no. You know about the screw behind the tail light? Ah, yeah.
What screw?
Does it then come out the head carrier hole?
This?
Yeah.
No, you have to take out the rear shocks
Uh-huh.
and it slides down that way.
It's a bitch. It fits
It
tight.
pops into place. You know, I mean, it literally pops in. And then you put the fasteners in. You pull the fasteners out and you have to kind of wrestle it out and it'll just pop right out. But
luckily-
that's the sender and that's the fuel pump.
I have a question about the fuel pump. I was told that it may fail from overheating if I let the fuel level get too low.
Some
It can.
pumps are sensitive. That's not true.
Okay. Well, I've had 2 of them fail, and I don't know why. So I'm sick of paying for replacing them. So I think there's something else going on. I didn't know about the glue thing. So,
Well, the bottom of this sits at that level. So it has to get awfully, awfully low to expose the motor
yeah,
to not being in the gas anymore. Because that's what cools the motor.
right,
And this whole thing sits in there.
right.
It can happen, not very common. You just ride too far.
Maybe that's the problem.
How many miles on your red bike?
More like miles.
55,000.
Good
There you go. Stop complaining.
But I have 2 of them in close range together. So one of them at like 30,000 miles, I don't mind. But then again at 45, that seems unreasonable.
That does seem
Yeah, it
unreasonable.
is.
Yeah.
Because my bike has 45,000. I've never had it out.
Maybe the second one.
Hasn't been a problem.
Or maybe
Maybe
they replaced
those-
it
With
with
the
one
bad
they,
one.
a bad one that
Maybe
they
it
pulled
was,
out of it.
maybe it was one of those pumps
Maybe.
which were bad to start with.
But it's motorsports, and I trust them. They're good people.
I do too, I know Alex for
Yeah.
forever,
Yeah.
but
So he wouldn't do it on
it's
purpose,
not their,
for sure.
it's not their fault.
Right,
It's whatever they get from
Defective parts.
Piaggio,
Right.
that's it. And Piaggio doesn't buy from the same people, that's the problem.
Oh. That could
Some
be.
made here and some made there, whoever gives them the best price, that's what we get,
It's not China.
so.
So why have I never been successful ever once in filling the gas tank and not having it overflow? I've tried everything.
Because it sucks.
It's awful. But I've tried every variation. I've never once tried
What
to
it has to do with is, do you go to the same gas pump?
No. I tried different stations. I tried a lot of different
Once
variations.
you find a good one, just keep it.
Yeah.
Get that good
I
station.
never had any.
There's a whole thread about that, about, point it toward the back of the
I've
bike.
done that. I've put
You can hear
I've
it.
only had it, I've only
Yeah,
overflowed
right.
once.
successful.
And I get close enough,
Doesn't
you
matter.
can hear it as it's coming
It's
up.
Yeah, you
made
listen,
for
you slow
California.
down, you
I can
listen,
see it.
you can hear the gas getting near
Well,
the
it
top.
has a lot to do the way the gas nozzle fits into
Yeah.
the way it is set up. It's not Piaggio's fault, it's not the fuel pump, the gas station fault, it's just
Just the way.
the way they designed the whole thing.
I did hear that they're getting rid of the, I call it the foreskin
Yeah.
on the pumps. That, you know,
Yeah,
they
it
hold
captures
up,
the
they're
gas.
getting rid of that, that was a law for a while, that they had to have it, but.
Is that a religious thing?
But they're, now it's not a law, they're ending it, so as people get new pumps,
Really?
they won't have.
I mean, that's the whole
Or
same, that's
easier
the,
to
isn't that the
fill.
reason they put in the evap system?
It is,
For
yeah.
the same
for
reason?
emissions.
Does that mean the whole evap system's gonna go away?
Oh, I'm pulling mine
Probably
out,
not.
cut mine
But it is only there for California emissions.
yeah.
But it's there for the same reason, right? You try to keep
It's
the
to
fumes
keep,
from getting in the
yeah, the
atmosphere.
evaporative fumes are largely a problem in places like LA, which had huge slum problems for years and years and years.
Yeah.
Before there
Less
were
of-
cars.
It's less of a problem. So it's really for LA.
Okay, what else you wanna know? That filter on it, it says clean, on the pump it says clean it every 30,000 miles.
What, on the bottom of the field? Oh, okay.
Yes.
That little, you call it rock catcher or something?
I call it a rock catcher because it's not much of a fuel filter. So we don't really have, not lately, I haven't, there was a time when the GTS first came out, there was some fuel pump problems. But I haven't heard anything lately in the last 3 years.
I just
None of it on the 300s.
About fuel pumps? About fuel pumps?
Right.
Yeah,
There's been a big recall.
there's a recall.
Oh, huge recall, yeah.
But then
I
you
don't
talked
need
about
it.
that, oh, I thought that's one of the things he mentioned, that they all got, the
I
ones with
think
the
he was
bad.
talking about it
they all got
earlier.
replaced.
Yeah.
I think you were talking about it
He
earlier.
was talking about the gasket,
Yeah, I think there was
the brake line issue.
no, I think there was a different fuel pump issue with the glue versus the vanes.
Oh, okay.
I don't know the technical.
So you're saying that
There's a whole series of VINs that were affected and had to get a
On
new
the
fuel pump.
GTS.
But it was never an official recall.
Yeah, I'm using the term
It
recall.
was not
There was a service bulletin.
a service bulletin, yes, yes, that's.
And the
what
company
I
is
read.
paying for the new pump.
Which means they're not legally bound to actually replace it. It's a service bullet.
Well,
Doesn't matter.
it doesn't.
Can you talk some about the spark plug? I have an issue, I don't know, I don't think I'm the only one where it wants to work itself loose or the cap comes loose
Okay,
sometimes.
the whole spark plug issue is, I think it's a shitty connector, but there's nothing we can do. But the thing to do is one thing, spray a little WD on it, and
Okay.
you put it back on, or it makes it a lot easier to get back off too.
Okay,
And the reason spark plug connectors come off is because they're not put on right.
okay.
So you put a little WD, spray it on the whole plug, the rubber plug moves in easier in and you get it out easier.
Are you talking about
Because it is not connected right when people push on
You're talking about the cap to the plug or the plug
Yeah,
to
the
the wire?
yellow, the boot, I guess, like
it.
they call it.
That's what it is.
Coming off the plug?
Yeah,
So the latest what I seen, I never knew about it, I never seen it, but it happened to my friend and I 3 weeks ago. We went to Sacramento, we go up this hill, all of a sudden he stops. We look out and when we look in there, and the spark plug connector is hanging down. So I said, there's nothing we can do. I said, let it cool off before I put my hand in there. So we kind of bullshit around, and then I get to it, pull on the wire and look at it. I said, what, there's this, a pin on it, on the end. The part what is connected onto the spark plug is on the end of,
The cap.
Oh,
The-
you mean the spark plug? It pulled right out of the spark plug.
it pulled right out of the whole electrode, pulled out of the spark plug.
Oh, wow.
I said, man, this is really getting weird. So I looked at it, and when I got home, I said, I wonder what is all inside the spark plug. And I damaged the spark plug to see what's all inside, because I always thought it was one piece. The electrode inside is 3 different pieces. There's a piece of carbon in there that long. There's a little spring in it. There's a piece of metal on one end and one piece of metal on the forward part.
oh,
Now I know.
yeah,
So what he did is he we pushed it back
just
in.
force it in.
Went real easy home. After we called the tow truck and then they canceled the tow truck. But I never seen that come apart like that.
Yeah.
So,
Well, good to know it could happen and it's
so
survivable.
that has something to do with the spark
Spark plug
plugs
itself.
being, radio safe or all that, but whatever.
Resistor plug.
Resistant plug, yes. Yes.
I have a question, but it goes back to her situation. I actually wanna do some splicing and get into my battery, like I wanna put the lights on and I wanna do other stuff. I'm terrified about a fire. What's,
Okay, let's.
yeah, can you talk
fire.
about, what causes those fires?
What caused the fire from the scooters we got back at Piaggio is the people who worked on them and fucked them up.
Oh, okay,
That's simple.
okay.
They put the wrong,
I didn't touch it, it wasn't my fault.
they put the wrong battery connection in. That one you guys seen that was
Years
fire
ago,
showed
on
on
the
the,
website,
did everybody seen the picture?
Yeah.
Well, you look real close, you know what the guy did? He extended the battery cables because they had the wrong battery in it.
And so,
That is not Piaggio's fault.
right.
That is
And-
whoever installed that battery in the first place, that is what burned the scooter up. I got the motor out of that scooter.
And the folks at Piaggio saw that on that thread and denied the dealer's claim.
Wow.
The dealer
Yes.
got in trouble.
They're not stupid. They would have been better off telling Piaggio, hey, we screwed one up. we would have given him anything. But try to bullshit the warranty department,
Yeah.
that's a no-no.
But somebody
You
said.
better off, the dealer is better off saying, hey, we screwed something up, can you help us? We got brand new scooters going in the junk.
No, mine's not brand new, mine's at 06.
No, but
Still,
I'm saying
right.
is, what I'm saying is that the dealer, between the dealer and the manufacturer,
Right.
there is or the warranty claim department. You won't believe I'm down there for how many years. I know what the people, they are so stupid, they charge you $120 an hour and they can tie their shoes. You laugh about it, that is not, I don't laugh about it because they try to screw the manufacturer.
They don't, yeah, if they made the mistake, yeah, that isn't
They
right.
better off say, hey,
Right, just tell the truth, yeah.
just
whatever.
tell the truth and we torture them.
Well, somebody said maybe what happened on mine, and I haven't verified this with the mechanic, when they replaced the fuel pump, they might have stretched the fuel lines instead of, you know.
Did it start, where did the fire start?
When did it start?
No, where?
Where?
That I don't know. It was,
Yeah.
I was riding and I saw flame and I better pull over. So I know it was on my right side, but beyond that I couldn't tell you exactly. They're still sort of trying to determine what happened.
If you see
Who
flames,
did it?
Jeff at Motorsports, he always says the word.
Everybody,
He could have made a
everybody has
mistake.
a day.
You're right,
Everybody, hey,
right.
But that's not.
what did they, did a service on the bike?
Yeah, and I had picked it up the week before, so.
What did they do?
That's when the second time they replaced the fuel pump. So it's possible, I didn't ask him how he did it, but it's possible somebody said they may have just stretched the fuel line and you get a little crack or something. So that was one of the
The
theories.
fuel line just pushes on with a click connector, you know that. Maybe it was never clicked in.
Maybe.
Yeah,
was there
and then
gas?
it works like a
Was there gas involved?
It has to be if there's flames.
Then
But
you
I
got-
didn't smell anything,
Then
that
you,
was the
then you
thing.
got, it doesn't have to be full off, because it gets cut maybe coming back.
Yeah.
But you got 2 PSI, you got 36 PSI pressure in there.
Yeah.
That stuff that sprays over quick.
But it didn't happen immediately, that's the thing. I didn't pick it up and then caught fire on the way home. It was a week or two later.
Wires
Depends
don't
on
burn.
how that fuel line slides under. It could have been
Oh,
halfway
yeah.
under.
Right,
It could have been the gasket under the fuel pump too. His failed, and
okay.
he was leaking gas all over the place. And
Okay.
we'd never seen that before, and when Rolf pulled the tank out, the seal was bad. We replaced the seal, everything's fine.
I had that same gas connector pop out of an MP3, same exact type of connection, a day after a single day of riding it brand new. So it worked, it was in enough to function.
Right.
But then it popped out and gas everywhere, it
Yeah.
pumped all the gas.
Well, and
onto
that's,
it.
I didn't see anything in the street. It felt like it wanted to stall, so I pulled over, and then just for fun, I pulled the accelerator again. Oh, it started back up again. So it seemed like the fuel pressure dropped down, probably because that hose was loose, but there was still enough there that I could go a little, and that's when the flames started.
It's just so hot. that
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not on fire.
That must have, I'm going 30 miles an hour in the middle of the street, which was lucky. I normally would have been on the freeway.
Oh,
So
yeah.
everything went well, but it was just
Did it
surprising.
Did it
Fire
consume the bike?
is,
Yes.
It did.
is
Well, not
very-
completely. The tape was still intact. And fortunately, where I stopped, the guy had a fire extinguisher. He came right out, but it was
It's
fully
totaled?
involved. No, well, depending on who you ask. Jeff wants to fix it just as a point of pride, and I don't mind. I'll throw a little money at it if
What?
it's possible.
It's like my bike goes on fire, just let it burn.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
no.
I help with the
That's
long
what
a little
insurance is
bit.
for.
I make sure the other line is off too.
More fuel on the fire.
But just,
It is
we're trying to figure out why.
unfortunately, and it
Yeah.
is, but it is not a common thing.
Right.
And from all the fire damage which I know of was all created by the people who worked on
Worked on it, yeah.
Case
Well, and
close.
you're right, that everyone is entitled to an off day, but Jeff is so good, it would surprise me if it was a mistake. You know
I
that.
know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people I know, and, you know, but they can happen to me.
Anybody, sure.
But it's
Miami
not
Green was a
common.
factory.
I don't need to worry
Factory
about
screwed
if
it
I
up,
try and
so-
do some stuff.
5 years ago.
That's the biggest
The
thing.
thing is, what you worry about if you disconnect something, first of all, you got to know how it works.
Mm-hmm.
And when you put it back together, that you can hear it click in.
So are most things, there's a positive or a definitive sound or feeling when it's done properly versus when it is not?
You can, when you push it back on, you kinda, the way this disconnector is here, you can, when you pull it off and click it back, you kinda can,
Almost all the plugs have a retainer.
Okay.
You'll notice when you separate anything, you have to pull a tab up to get it apart. But when you put it back together, that tab clicks.
So everything has a positive,
Yeah.
for sure it's in there.
yes.
I don't think there's, I can't offhand think of any plug on that type that doesn't have a retainer of some kind.
Otherwise, it vibrate free, huh?
Yeah, because it's just the vibration is really nice vibration.
But except for the spark plug connector. So make it a habit that the spark plug connector gets some lubricant on it, and makes it a lot easier to push it on and pull it out. The same when you put a spark plug in. Make sure you put a little never seize on it. It makes it so much easier to get the spark plugs in and out if you have that stuff on. Don't put much on it, just a little film.
On the threads.
Yep.
And you're talking when you screw it into the engine.
Yeah.
So
It's a tiny
it
bit
makes it
and-
so much easier. Because there's bikes, man, the spark plug, with an extension, just, I can't even get it out. I don't put them in, you know, I always thought Godzilla, they have Godzilla working at the factory or something, you know. But that is.
Air tools.
Air tools, yeah. That does it. Okay, what else?
Hey, let's go ahead and jack that up and tilt the motor back, so we can show them how to get the valve cover off.
Yeah, get,
And
at
then we'll throw the
least,
exhaust
at
back
least they will see
How the
which
motor comes out.
angle, which angle.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
good.
but go ahead, take this bolt out. I want everybody to take a look at the way the angle is right now, so you see the difference.
See how the head's pointing forward?
You see how
We
it
need
is
to
pointing
point up.
forward? While getting in there, try to get the bolts off, like you see over there. It's next to the impossible.
That's why we have to pump it.
Out of 38 people working at Piaggio, I was the only one, I wouldn't even know how to turn a computer on. Okay? So one day my boss grabs me and says, I need to talk to you. I said, what about it? You need to learn about computers. I said, Reno, I make an effort to learn computers. If a computer can change a spark plug on the fly model you built.
Good luck.
He looked at me and he says, you're right.
Oh, either that or he gives you the middle finger.
Who's that, Eric?
But,
Was that Eric?
but then, yeah.
Yeah.
No, Reno.
Oh.
You don't know Reno. Anyway, so finally, all the office girls got together because on Friday afternoon, Piaggio used to shut down, And we go have cocktail hour, and they pick up the tab. So, one Friday, all the girls got together. Next week off, 2 hours there, 2 hours there, 2 hours with that girl, 2 hours with that girl, computer lessons. So, up to date, my knowledge is, I know how to open an email, and I know how to send one.
That's all you need.
That's it.
Good for you. But at least you weren't completely closed off to it.
Now I know, you know,
So how did you spend the other 1 hour, 15 minutes with the girls?
none of your business.
Pull the spark plug. Do what? Pull the spark plug lead.
Lead?
Yeah, plug. Pull the plug. With the light in there, you can see the cap on the fuel pump behind his arm.
Okay.
Clear it over here.
I never
see
had
that.
that. I don't think I ever had this bike. Got it.
Okay. I'm gonna start raising it, okay?
Okay, go slow. Okay, come over here.
Is this the infamous cap?
You
right
see
here?
how,
How it's rotating?
you see how it rotates?
Wow.
See it?
Wow.
You see it?
Very slowly
This
and
isn't
nicely.
gonna slip.
Now you get to the valve cover bolts.
Yeah.
And now you need a light.
Right.
You
And look how
got to
slowly and
look
majestically it
over
goes.
the wheel so you can see the wheel with it.
Oh, yeah.
You see it? Okay, that's good, Rich. That is the way. So if you don't have a thing like that,
Yeah, because I see it better.
don't
now.
hang yourself. Just use it as.
You know a jack from like a little pickup truck?
Yeah.
You can put it in the middle. You put a block against the wall, against the fence. And you put a strap from here and there to the fence. You
Yeah.
hold the front end.
Okay.
And then you can just use your little bottle jack and back up the rear. Or jack up the rear. And it'll tilt out.
Okay.
That's how I
That
did it
is the
before.
way to do
So
it.
I could, it's like basically tying it down the way you would in your truck.
Exactly. You could do it inside the back of a truck.
Okay.
Except you need to worry when the straps go down
Right.
and you lift, they get tight.
Okay.
Oh, yeah,
His were
yeah.
never too
Too
tight to begin
tight.
with, but
So
No,
it's better
they're
to
tighter
go
now.
forward
You know, I have
than
to-
down.
yeah,
Okay.
with the straps.
Okay.
Rumor has it you can put a
You
2x4
see,
under
at
the-
least you have a chance to get the valve
Right,
cover
if I need to,
Otherwise,
yeah.
it's, forget it.
Right, right.
So you got to disconnect the rear shocks.
And you have to wait, and you have to pull the spark plug lead.
The spark
Because
plug
when it
cover-
comes up high enough, it'll pull the
Too
plug
much
wire out.
pressure, okay.
Just leave it like that, Rich.
I didn't see four, but these 4 bolts,
Five.
5 bolts?
1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 over here on this side.
Okay.
So at least you know how to do it, and this is how you
Well-
get to it.
That's kind of like the holy grail of shake your house. Once you get to that point,
Well, I'm
everything else
buying
is
you a
easy.
case of beer and a plane ticket.
Everything is, no, it's a 12-pack.
Okay, I'm
So do you
listening.
get those
I'm listening.
top 3 from the top and then the other 2 from the bottom?
No,
what you
they're
do?
all from the
All
top.
from the
Yeah.
top? Okay.
The two underneath, you have to kind of do by feel.
Uh-huh.
Same with the exhaust valves.
Uh-huh.
It's problematic doing that. It's
You
something that's
got-
going to take
you got
extra
to-
time the first few times
It's
you do it.
not that easy. It's not our job. This is for you the first time and all the job.
Of
Yeah.
course, of course.
But you learn a lot and you got to try it.
Yeah.
And what you can do is the second time, remember to, after you adjust them, kind of line it up the next time and just feel it. You can feel 6,000, 4,000, that you can feel that there is play in it. And the moment you feel there is play in it, perfect.
And as a factory trained Porsche mechanic, you have that skill down.
Well, yes, but even so, anybody can, in a moment you can feel any amount of play in it. At least you know, okay,
You're top dead center.
yes. But if you top that center don't have any play, then you know they need to be loosened up. And loosen up most of the time is about 90% on the exhaust valves. Intake valves pretty
that's where
much don't change.
That's where the bolt that goes through holds the front motor mount.
Where's the spark plug?
There's a swing arm that's in here.
Is it right here?
That swing arm is controlled by this big rubber bushing
You
right
see
here.
this there?
Oh, what, right here?
It's like an
You
intermediate
can't
swing
get to
arm.
it.
But this is it?
Pivots in two places.
No, that is the
And just the main bolt.
oxygen sensor.
Okay.
We should have disconnected that too, that's pretty tight. So anyway,
That's oxygen sensor.
yeah, that goes into the exhaust system like right here.
Blame it on me.
It's 3 months from now, though. Your plug's missing.
Oh, okay, that one.
That elbow power plug?
Oh, no, we're just showing them where the front,
Okay, let's let it down a little bit.
Missing anything.
Just trying to figure out.
I'm trying to see the spark plug on this.
Well, spark plug's not so bad. I mean, it's that little boot, that little rubber boot.
That's good.
Is it the one near the green? Cause see, that's what I'm saying, I'm trying to,
Yeah, it's a little more forward, more down. You kind of have to feel for it.
So anyway,
It's not that bad.
this is the way
And all you really need is
we add.
include the wrench.
What can I say? I can say one thing that concludes our happening today.
Get out of my garage? That would work?
What I'm saying is that I enjoyed doing it.
Thanks for having me.
Rich did the same.
and I see it from right here, I see it.
I've been thinking, I already got people asking when the next one is, so we'll probably do it in
Cause see from the bottom.
February or January, end of January, February. So if you have any questions with something, there's a phone number, give me a call.
Well, don't say that too loud. I might actually call you.
There's no problem,
I already
but
told too much.
I try to give you as much as possible information there is.
Wonderful.
And I hope you can use some of it. And like I said, you know,
Dance a
if you
little.
ever get stuck, make sure, first of all, if you know if it's electric or fuel related. But sometimes that's not the easy way of
Yeah,
doing it,
it's not easy to know.
you know, so, and what?
Just 30 seconds on aftermarket
Yes,
expensive toys.
Okay.
This is a stock
Oh, I
head.
thought that was the door prices.
This is a stock GTS head. This particular head has 1,000 miles on it. This is the Molasi aftermarket head. The difference is this has 24 or 25 millimeter exhaust valves.
Yes.
These are 22. So you have like a 15% bump in that. This is $500 at Motorsport. And then you have to have machining work done to the motor to make it work, or you have to buy the Molasi cylinder and piston, which is
And
another $350, $400. And you have to pay someone to put in. It gets real expensive real fast.
I did one 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I did with, yeah. The only reason I spent the money is because I got a great deal on all this stuff. But I
And
just
you
wanted
wanted
to,
to win Cannibal.
I wanted to win Cannibal. I just bought this for this gentleman right here, and he's going to take it home. I just wanted to show you what the difference was. It's hard to see, the valves are so tiny. But
You can see it on the new one, definitely.
But you can tell there's a difference. And bang for buck, it might not be the best one, but for bang in general, this is what you need
It's
to
the
make
biggest
your bike.
bang, it's just not a very cost-effective bang.
Until the 350 comes out.
But it is the biggest bang.
Not if you want to keep on
The
riding.
reason
My bike still
I
runs.
replaced the one is because the guy needed a new head, so it was a matter of a few dollars difference between factory and that one. Plus the availability of this one was a lot easier, faster than from the factory, so we used that.
Well, we've heard about bad Malossi belts and
Yeah,
motors.
Yes, Malossi.
Yeah, Malossi.
So I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that this is
He's
the
an
only
optimist.
Malossi product that I really like.
There's one other one, which is the 190 kit.
The
the
190
LX.
kit for
Yeah,
an LX model is
Yeah, fit on your bike, too.
absolutely perfect.
That's worth it.
I must have installed
didn't say
about
that.
Worth it?
20
No,
of them.
but it's a durable piece of
But it has to be in a combination with a Cedo plus muffler,
Yeah.
which looks like a stock muffler where it has different configuration in it, because Piaggio also owns Cedo muffler.
Oh,
It'll get there
I didn't know that.
So, but that combination, I did at least 20 of those. It works perfect. And what it does is, if you go up a slight hill, or especially if you ride around with two people on it, it gives you the even power all the way through, like if you go by yourself like that. That's the difference. So it's really impressive, and it works. One of the few things, it lasts. There's very few things they do which work like that.
Well, this, it seems like
Because
all
all
that
that,
aftermarket stuff makes
very,
it great.
on the roller, on belts, on all this other, it's total junk. Like piston and cylinder for that T5. They are so loose, I thought I'd blow it
And
loose.
break quicker.
Brand new.
I said I was here,
I took it back out because it drives me
even when I
nuts.
felt like I was going 90,
Put it back to stock.
80,
No problem.
I don't feel like I was
Designed that way.
but I still